We can get it started. BKFC 21, no UFC the weekend, no Bellator. So we go BKFC. I'm a big fan of BKFC. I think they put on a lot of exciting fights. They're doing a little bit of dabbling, a little bit in that, celebrity boxing, nonsense that's going on. But they do have a lot of good fights. And this fight card, BKFC 21, is coming up. It's got no celebrity boxing, no Paige Van Zant, no Diego Sanchez. Got Houston Alexander on it, which, ex-UFC fighter, 49 years old. It's a little bit of a circus show to have Houston Alexander that old fighting, but I'm really, really hoping he comes out and does really well because Houston Alexander is a great guy. He was phenomenal in the UFC. And like I say, he's just a great guy. He's a great human being. And I'd love to see him do good against Wes Combs. We'll start there. We'll go up to the main event. So we'll go Wes Combs versus Alexander Houston. Houston Alexander. Houston Alexander is 17-16, 1-2 as a professional mixed martial artist. He's making his BKFC debut. He's got a TKO. His last two fights were back-to-back TKO losses to Raheem Cleveland. December of 2017 and April of 2017. So he's been about almost 4 years removed from combat sports. 14 out of 17 of his wins by knockout. 10 out of 16 of his losses by knockout. He's going up against 48-year-old Wes Combs. 20-6 MMA record Wes Combs has. 1-0 in BKFC. He won his debut by disqualification in November of 2019, so he's almost been 2 years out of the game, against Adrian Miles. Miles hit him with an illegal strike after Combs went to the ground. 16 out of 20 of his MMA wins are via knockout, and he's only been knocked out in 1 out of 6 of his losses. Tough chin, going to be a really hard fight for for Houston Alexander. But like I said, I really, really want to see Houston Alexander win, so if I had to make a pick, it's going to be extremely biased, and I'm going to go Houston Alexander on that one. Sam Shoemaker versus Josh Burns, another barn burner coming up. Shoemaker is 4-2-1 in BKFC. He's 1-1 as a pro boxer. He's got 2 knockouts in his BKFC career over Bobo O'Bannon. Sorry. What's cracking, Greg? Nice to see you. And that was in December of 2020, and he lost his decision to Joey Beltran back in June, his most recent fight. His only other BKFC loss was a split decision loss to Arnold Allen. So, imagine your only 2 losses in the promotion are to Arnold Allen, who's on a fucking tear. He's 5-1 in BKFC, and his only loss was to Chase Sherman and Joey Beltran, who was a champion at one time. Shoemaker's 1 draw in BKFC went to Chase Sherman as well, whereas Josh Burns is 8-10 as a professional mixed martial artist. Retired in 2016 after a 4-fight losing streak that included Bobby Lashley, Justin Wren, and Josh Parisian. Now, what of a fucking terror's row you had to go through to finally retire. 1-1 in BKFC, but a knockout over Chris Sorrow, and then a knockout loss over Frank Tate. He's 43 years old. At 41, 42 he must have been. He knocked out Chris Sorrow, which he's got power in his hands. He's a great bare-knuckle boxer. So I would not sleep on Josh Burns. Josh Burns, I think I'm saying it wrong. But 37 years old, Sam Shoemaker. He's got the youth on his side. He's got the most relative combat competition on his side. He has faced higher level of opponents, in my opinion, with Bobo O'Bannon, Joey Beltran, Arnold Allen, Chase Sherman. This guy's fought the who's who of BKFC. I'm going to go Sam Shoemaker. I think he's going to knock him out pretty handily. Main event, Dakota Cochrane, something like that, versus Mike Richman. Cochrane 33-13 as a professional mixed martial artist, 3-0 in BKFC. TKO wins over Johnny Hendricks, and then a doctor stoppage over Tyler Vogel, and a decision win over Chris Lieben. His most recent fight, December of 2020, so maybe, 10 months out from his fight now. 5'8", 72-inch reach going against Mike Richman, who is 5'9", with a 68.5-inch reach. 9 out of 18 of his MMA wins, Mike Richman, are by knockout. He was at 18-8 professional MMA record. This card ain't it, man. Hold on, give me a second. I'll tell you. The next UFC event, matter of fact, I'll pause it. Right in the middle. Can't keep our guys waiting. I think it is. Next event is Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. I'm sure you're going to have a field day with Anthony Smith's fight coming up, Greg. But just to resume, Mike Richman, 1-0 in BKFC. He's got a TK over Marcel Stamps, but that was a shoulder injury to Stamps. Very powerful striker in Marcel Stamps. Mike Richman was able to outlast that. He had a no contest in Baylor bare knuckle against J.C. Lamas. He's a southpaw, former Marine. He's going up against Cochrane. This is purely going to come down to experience, I believe, where Cochrane is, he has 3 fights in bare knuckle, where Richman has 2, only 1 in BKFC. Cochrane has 46 professional MMA fights, whereas Richman only has 26, so 20 more MMA fights, 1 more bare knuckle fight. I'm going to go straight up experience to Dakota Cochrane. And just to touch on it a little bit, Greg, I don't agree, man. I think that although, there's a lot of no-name guys on this BKFC card, and, they got the old guys fighting with Houston Alexander and Wes Combs and Josh Burns. There's a bunch of old guys on the card. I still think that, bare knuckle is just such an exciting thing to watch. It's such a ruthless, quick starting thing. You get in there and you see a lot of boxers go in there, and the boxers want to jab, and hit you to the body, and they get decisions and this and that. And you could tell when the fight's going to go like that. You could tell early on. If a fight is going to be like a strictly bare knuckle brawl, like I've seen a bunch of in BKFC, it's going to start bang out the gate. It's going to be action right out the gate, fucking immediate action. And it's crazy exciting to watch. Yes, Houston Alexander is still alive, and he is fighting this weekend against Wes Combs, who is another close to 50-year-old former MMA fighter. And I'm really hoping he wins, man. I don't know, what your presence is, Greg, on social media, but through my experience on Twitter and speaking with Houston Alexander, he's a very nice guy, genuine guy, has given back a lot to his community. So I'm strongly pulling for Houston Alexander. And, I'm not really a big fan of guys post 45 years old, I'd say, 44, 45, 46, 47, getting in there and fighting in an MMA fight. I'm not a big fan of this Evander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort thing. I think Vitor Belfort is going to come in TRT'd up and just send Holyfield into straight up fucking paralysis or some shit. I don't think that guys that age should be fighting. I think just scientifically, your testosterone starts decreasing. With old age and just younger, 30 years old, 40 years old, you start getting slower, your bones start to ache more. It's not really this isn't an old man sport. It's a young man sport without a doubt. Even boxing, bare knuckle, MMA, any of those things. Yeah, I think Vitor beat De La Hoya. I think that De La Hoya is coked out of his fucking mind, and probably wouldn't beat much of anybody with a name. He might beat like just no name people off the street or people making their debut or maybe even Jake Paul or somebody like that. But if we're talking about Vitor Belfort, Anderson Silva, Roy Jones Jr. at this point in his career, Mike Tyson at this point in his career, any of those guys, I think Oscar De La Hoya is going to have serious trouble with because he's not in boxing shape. As far as, we've seen him how many months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, where he was commentating that one fight, coked out of his mind and just not looking in shape, round, soft looking. I just don't think that Oscar De La Hoya is in the best shape of his career. Probably doing this for a payday. or why that's probably why he was doing it. Now, of course, he's out because of COVID, but um, I think that possibly is why he was fighting, was just strictly for the payday. I don't think he's gonna come out there and compete like he used to and be and show flashes of being a great boxer. Greg, you got to stop, man. Dustin is not running from Conor. Dustin has beaten Conor twice. Even before the injury in the second fight, Dustin was beating his ass. Wasn't going to go any different than it was in the first fight. So I don't think he's running from him. I think, Conor's probably got to get in there. And, if he fights Conor again, cool. But I think Conor really's got to get in there and get a win over somebody. It doesn't even have to be top 5 guys anymore. It doesn't. We don't have to look at guys like that. But, I mean, top 15 guys, 15 through 10 through 15, that's where Conor McGregor needs to be aiming to fight right there, 10 through 15. And he needs to look to get a win. Big win over a 10 through 15 guy, highlight reel knockout. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot about the first one. Third one definitely does count, by the way. But big win over a 10 through 15 guy, and he's right back in the top 5. And it gets his confidence back, and it just builds more of a just builds more hype for any kind of fight with Dustin Poirier or anything, because there's no hype, man. The guy's beat him twice. Yeah, McGregor beat him once in like 2015 or 16 or something like that. But the 2 most recent fights, Dustin Poirier handedly beat Conor McGregor. Didn't look like he wasn't winning, not even a second of any of the 2 fights that he just fought with Dustin Poirier. Didn't look competitive at all. Looked like Poirier was outclassing him. Both fights, one of them he knocked him out. The second one, McGregor got injured. I don't know, man. McGregor's done, in my opinion. McGregor, well, like I just said, his best thing, like just pure mixed martial artist wise, man. Not like, all this money fight and fucking popularity contest shit, which because of that, he probably is going to fight somebody high in the rankings. He's probably going to fight Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier, somebody like that. But he should, for a purist standpoint, he should be fighting somebody 10 through 15 next in his next fight. I think Conor got his ass beat the whole second fight. Ass beat. I think that about both of the fights, though, man. Here's the thing about Conor McGregor that's so fucked up is that Conor McGregor is a great knockout finisher. He's a great finisher, and he's got power in his left hand. He's got great kicks when he uses them. And if he can keep the fight standing, he's good to go. But, I mean, he's got so many holes in his game where he's not good on the ground at all. He's kind of like he's really bad on the ground. He is not good when he is standing in his boxing stance instead of his karate kind of stance. When he's leaning hard in his front leg, he gets his leg chopped in every single fight that he's fought like that. And he only started fighting that. He only started fighting with the boxing stance after the Floyd Mayweather thing, which is just another one of those popularity contest bullshit fights that happened. It didn't need to happen. There was no he wasn't. Conor McGregor at the time wasn't looked at like, oh, he's one of the greatest of all time MMA fighters. Why would he be boxing? Why would he be boxing possibly the greatest of all time boxer? It's just a bullshit publicity stunt. And if he would stay away from doing those things and he would stay trying to be a purist MMA and saying, okay, I lost to this guy, let's go back, let's fight somebody a little bit lower in the rankings, let's get our wins back, let's work our way back to the top, then let's fight a top guy, he wouldn't be getting mauled by Khabib, he wouldn't be getting beat twice in a row by Dustin Poirier, he would be fighting guys like, I mean, let's just fucking look it up right now. Because, I mean, to be 100% honest with you, I didn't see the last time I looked, and I didn't look since the rankings have been updated yet, but I didn't see many people at lightweight that he's beating, that he's got a chance to beat. Dustin Poirier, no. Gaethje, no. Dariush, hell no. Michael Chandler, hell no. Islam, hell no. Tony Ferguson, maybe. Maybe the fight's Tony Ferguson, number 6. 7, RDA, maybe. 8, Dan Hooker, maybe. 10, Gregor Gillespie, hell no. 11, Diego Ferreira, hell no. 12, Brad Riddle, maybe. 13, Rafael Pizev, maybe, again. Armand Tussaran, maybe. Thiago Mousais, maybe. So that's what I'm saying. Like, 11 through 15, I think he's got a decent chance of winning. But, I mean, from anybody ranked above him in lightweight, probably not going to win those fights. Maybe Dan Hooker, maybe RDA, maybe Tony Ferguson. Top 5, nobody. He beats nobody in the top 5. I'm going to say it again because I just seen your comment, Greg. He beats 0 fighters in the top 5. Top 5, including the champion. So we'll go top 6. Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Beneil Dariush, Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev. He beats 0 of those people. If he comes back and tries to be, McGregor, and he tries to weasel his way into getting a top 5 fight, he gets beat again. And that loss more than likely makes him retire. So, I don't want to see McGregor retire. He's good for the sport. It's exciting to watch. He's always got some kind of high-level drama coming up. I'd like to see him keep fighting. So, I want to see him get back in the win column, honestly, in my next fight. I feel bad for the guy. Dariush beats Conor, man. Dariush is a fucking second-degree fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a fucking black belt in judo. He's got every skill possible. And he's a black belt at that skill that can beat Conor McGregor. Judo, so he's able to clinch with you and able to put you on the ground. And then when he's putting you on the ground, he's one of the best submission artists in the division. What do you mean he can't beat him? Fucking Nate Diaz submitted Conor McGregor. Nate Diaz is a 1 black belt under Gracie. Fucking Beneil Dariush is a second-degree black belt under somebody crazy. Beneil Dariush is Humulo Barral, black belt in Muay Thai, and a Rafael Cordero. So Cordero. But yeah, man, I got it. Yeah, you're wild. Dariush smokes Conor McGregor. It's not even close. I'm gonna go up, read a couple. Conor's defense is takedown defense. I feel like it was pretty damn good. Crazy how that just went away in his most recent fights. Nah, man. I mean, it was decent when you're that. When he's taking him down the first couple rounds, first round or so, he was able to scramble a little bit, but was taken down. I mean, it's not good takedown defense means you stop the takedown. He didn't. I think maybe what he stopped like 1 out of like 6 in the fucking Khabib fight. It's not good takedown defense. You know what I mean? People thought Khabib was going to go in and just smash him, wrestle him, hold him down, fuck him. And McGregor stopped him once and maybe scrambled with him once, but that was it, man. And that's in my opinion, that's not good takedown defense. It's as good as takedown defense as we just seen with Darren Till against Derek Brunson this past weekend. Conor versus Kevin Lee would be good, but Kevin Lee I don't think is coming back to lightweight. I think he's fighting welterweight. Probably until he retires, or unless he decides to move up the middleweight. But maybe Conor fights at welterweight. Maybe, brother. I'd like to see that. I think Kevin Lee should fight. Who should Kevin Lee fight? Who's that kid that just won? I think Kevin Lee should fight. Alex Morano. I think that's who Kevin Lee should fight next. Because if Alex Morano beats Kevin Lee, he's in the top 15. Alex Morano's probably like 15, or he's probably like 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there. Kevin Lee just got kicked out of the rankings, so I think a win over Kevin Lee probably puts him. Nick beats Robbie? Yeah, probably. I mean, I see a lot of people saying that Nick Diaz is not going to be the same, and he's been away from fighting for too long. But I mean, dude, excuse me, the main thing he's always went off of his entire career is cardio. And dude's been doing triathlons the entire time since he's been gone. So his cardio's not gone. That's one thing that's not gone is cardio. Maybe his chin's a little bit more weathered. But then again, man, your chin goes away predominantly from fighting. When you fight more often, your chin starts to deteriorate. So if he's not fighting and not sparring hard this entire time, I mean, I could potentially see not Kevin Lee, Nick Diaz come back as the same chin, the same cardio, and maybe he's a little bit sloppy in the boxing and the whatever, and the jiu-jitsu, whatever. Maybe he's a little bit sloppy, but cardio and his chin, I think, are going to be pristine. Robbie Lawler's chin has been suspect. He has gotten tired in a few of his last couple fights. I think that's going to go Nick Diaz. Yeah, I'd say Nick overall is probably better than Nate. If they were to probably fight right now, which they've already said a million times they would never fight each other, if they were to probably fight each other right now, I think Nate Diaz probably win. But overall career, accomplishments, who they fought in their career, things like that, I'd give it to Nick. But Greg, sorry, I know I love talking to you, Greg. I hope you come back every Tuesday. You're one of the best people that come to the chat. But I gotta go. I got a 10:30 Zoom call I'm late for. So I gotta go, brother. Till next Tuesday, I hope to see you back here. We'll be previewing Ryan Spann versus Anthony Smith. Stay barbecued, my friend.